Alrighty, hello my friends, good evening. How are you all doing? Good to see you all. Sorry for the delay. Let's see who is here. Oh, whoa, that's a lot of buzz. A lot of buzz in the chat. You could say, Fedeveo, hello. Frank the Third, hello. Hubert, hello. RMC, hola. Jabronas, Elvin, hey. Lamp, hello. Pontus, hello. Up late. Hello, hello. Sunny, hello. Elquine, hello, hello. Mr. Kupo, Mango, hello. Anatar, hello. ODM, what's boing buzz? Hello, 65 buzz. Thank you, ODM. Thank you, thank you. Niku, hello. How goes it? Wow. Someone ruined the combo. Damn, Hestra. Just lives to see the world burn. William, hello. How's it going? Up late or up early? I'm gonna say up late, unless you're really up early. I kind of doubt that it's up early, but so I'm gonna say it's up late. I think it's up late though. Am I wrong to assume it's up late? I think it is up late though. All right. Hope you have all been well. I had a pretty busy work week, I guess. Just was out for some. Had a work trip. And then came back, and pretty much the rest of the time was just settling with some other stuff for work and just chillaxing for a bit and getting ready for some builds. And also I've been doing some offline work too. I've been doing like some offline builds and rebuilds and things like that as well. So yeah, you're not wrong. I figured. I think most people who are up at wee hours, 3, 4, 5, it's getting to the up early, but I think most people are up late. I would say in the current day and age, I think most people are up late than up early. All right, so for today's build, we are going to be building the RAE Aurum. So if you don't know what Aurum stands for, it means it's a Latin word for gold. And previously, RAE had done the Adamas for a 65%, and the Aurum is kind of now their take on a 60% design. And so that's what we're working with today. So let's check it out. So this was originally packaged in some packing paper in a box, but took that out of the way. And so there is a thank you card on the inside. So RAE stands for those words: refined artistic engineering. And so if you kind of see the back, it's kind of similar to the single KBD cards, where you have you have here, in this case, you have a QR code to the Discord server, you have a QR code to a build guide, and then there's screw specifications, and then a link for VIA, as well as resources on the RAE website. So pretty nice. And we also have a nice authentication card. Says that it's a review unit, which is pretty cool. Here we have the colorway revealed to us before I even look at it. Then we have our daughter board with a JST cable. Then we have some thicker bump-ons from I can see, some hard bump-ons. Got some gaskets over here. Got some extra screws. Then we have stickers. We have then a microfiber cloth quite nice. And then that's just a little silica gel thingy. And then I think it's an aluminum plate, but I might be wrong. I actually just made an assumption. So here packaged in this, we have our plate. Oh, looks like it's carbon fiber actually. We have a carbon fiber plate, in fact. Not an aluminum plate today. So pretty nice. For compatibility, we can see that it has pretty much universal compatibility. So it's going to have ISO and ANSI for the enters and the shifts. And then you have split right shift compatibility. We have 7U and 625U. It appears it might be possible to also do 6U, I think. But, and then, yeah, split and regular backspace, as well as stepped and regular caps lock. So that's the plate. We have our PCB designed from McLovin Studio. Let's take a look at that now. Ooh, look at this silk screen. That's very cool. So okay, so no 6U actually. It's just 6, 2, 5, and 7. But we have a nice kind of dark green with the kind of copper, gold copper almost, traces, and kind of like this silk screen. It's very, very cool. Kind of, I'm actually not sure what it's supposed to represent. Is it supposed to represent kind of a geographical region perhaps, or is it, I'm not sure what it's representative of, but there's the RAE logo right there. We have LED support for the caps lock, and then no other LED support. Pretty much universal compatibility just to go with the plate. Kintsugi? Maybe it's like Kintsugi, yeah. Okay, it is Kintsugi. Okay, cool. So it is inspired by Kintsugi. Okay, so in typical McLovin fashion, we have some spare diodes here. We have a STM32 type of microcontroller. We have our QC stickers. And this is the Z60 Revision 1.2. And it says, actually, it's for the Aurum keyboard PCB, powered by VIA. QMK VIA. Looks like it uses a fairly small profile connector for the JST. So actually it looks smaller than the typical JST SH that I've seen. I think it's like a slightly thinner one. And I guess that's about it for compatibility and whatnot. But pretty nice. 자기야, 오늘 왜 이렇게 예뻐? Says Incy. Hi Incy, how are you? You've been practicing your lines. Okay, so let's show this keyboard for all the Langjais in the chat. Let's see what we got. So we have a nice carrying bag, just a cloth bag, and then this is wrapped in packing paper. Some quick. Ooh la la, look at that. Ooh. That's an interesting color. It's not quite just blue. They call it cerulean blue. It's a Winkey 60% for this one. There are other versions as well. I believe I saw Mr. Sterling build I think it was HKB, right? Is that blue or green? It's both, actually. It has both blue and green in it. It's like a teal. Yes is the correct answer indeed. It is indeed teal. This is a very, very pretty color. I wonder if it compares to, like, I wonder how it compares to like a Tiffany color, but it's kind of like that, right? Like kind of sea foamy, yeah. Definitely, the Tiffany color would be brighter than this, but yeah, Tiffany is a brighter color than this. Tiffany is has more blue. It's much brighter. But you know, it's going, you know, towards that vein, I feel. It definitely has both blue and green. So there's our side profile. The side profile is very interesting. It's like it kind of caves in, like, you know, you actually see it chamfer there, or actually that's a sharp edge. Yeah, that's a sharp edge. There's a very, very small. No, that's a sharp edge. That's just a straight sharp edge. But it's not, you know, it's sharp, but I, you know, by sharp I don't mean like it's gonna cut you sharp, but it's sharp nonetheless. But it kind of caves in like that, and there's no opening, right? So it kind of fools you, making you think that it might open up there, but it doesn't. And then we have, in a very RAE fashion, so similar to the Automas, we have sort of these polygonal shape weights here. I think this looks like brass to me, sandblasted brass. It's very nice. It's very, very aesthetically pleasing, actually. And then we have a little back accent piece here that sort of has little like 3 steps. Actually lines up with the sticker that I just saw for this. Kind of is basically this logo on this. Pretty neat. Little badge sort of accent. And then center USB, and we have nicely recessed bump-on slots right here. Aurum engraving in the back front portion, or rather bottom front portion. And then it looks like we have those pocket screw type of technique implemented for the case. You can see they have angled M2 screws for the case. Kind of like at an angle. So the way to fasten the case is also it has that screwless vibe, but then it implements the like pocket screw technique to sort of prevent having screws from right above. Right. So pretty nifty nonetheless. I like it. Buy and bolt, yes, or some people might call it that too, right? But widely used in carpentry actually. Okay, so let's go ahead and Diego, can you play his game on Steam? On stream? It's 13 USDs? What the? I have to buy it? Darn. What's the game about? What is this? Is it like a platformer game? I actually don't know anything about said game. So yeah. Oh, we do have an aluminum plate as well. Just for people here to also choose, I guess. So it's funny, but so today's switches, I got these GAT inks ready, and is Mason Gray in the chat? I don't think he's in the chat today, but I got these GAT inks that I got from him a little while back. But we have these 205 modded GAT inks. We're gonna use these, but if you guys have a strong opinion on not wanting to see these, it's fine. Let me know if you want, but do you know like CS bunny hopping? It's like that? What the? What? That's so strange. People pre-ordered that game? Whoa. Man, I was gonna play Red Dead Redemption 2. Shit is still $60. That's how I feel when I see Claire Obscure. I'm like, oh, I want to play that game, and then I'm like, Is it on sale? Is the first question I ask myself, because now I just straight up don't really buy anything on release for games. Because it's like, I know I'm not going to play it right away, you know? Okay, I think this might just come off, right? Hold on. I think I can probably just... Whoop. I think RDR2 was free on Epic recently? Oh, maybe just missed that then. Oop. Oh, the little accent piece is actually just kind of right there. Okay, cool. Oh, it was just loose. Okay, I'll put it back on. It was just loose. Okay, maybe I'll put it back on now so I don't forget later. Little accent piece goes on like that, and then we have a little M2 screw here. Ugh. Saw some clips of the Bion game. Look cool if you're into that type of thing. Huh. Not gonna lie, I mean, what do I even play these days? I don't really play much. I'm still playing Overwatch because it's fun, but it's really just to, you know, because if there's at least 2 people who enjoy playing a game, we are all for it. Oh my god, I'm like terrible at this, so I'm just gonna actually grab my. Oop. It's a very slippery screw, and it's not quite holding onto the screwdriver, is it? Oh, there we go. Okay, that was annoying. There we go. A lot of deadlock, and then I stopped. Yeah, I haven't picked up any new stuff really. Alright, so let's take a look at the internals for the board. So on the inside, again, we have that angled pocket screw sort of pillars here, and then we have a nice long brass weight that essentially goes all the way through. Actually, it might be. I think this is 2-part. I think this is 2-part, given the number of screws. Also, like the position of the screws, I think this is 2-part. So you have a 2-piece weight, essentially, one that is, you know, bulkily standing in the back, and then one that is essentially serving as a cover portion for the daughter board and the cable portion of the design. And then we have a nice little engraving here that says designed by RAE. And now let's take a quick look at which colors do you have right now. Oh, let me click on that. I have the I think this is, oh, does it not say? Yeah, cerulean blue is what it said on the card. Yeah, cerulean blue. So I'm assuming this one is the blue one, bluish one, because I'm assuming the other one is the heritage green. That's what I'm saying. Oh, I thought this looked green. William, are you here? This is cerulean blue, right? I thought. Let me actually look at Captain Sterling had a just recently did a build. I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure if he has posted any photos yet though. He had a green unit. I'm like damn sure about it. Yeah. How do I'll just screenshot it. Wait, can I like share? Is it possible to share a link to the story? Apparently it messes me up if I try to. Okay, whatever. Well, if you go to his stories, that's the green one. That's the heritage green. Yeah. Oh, there's two Williams in the chat now. Yo. All right. Okay. Well. Let's get back to looking at the design here. So we have a plate here, and it is mounted in 3 positions at the top, basically between the backspace and the equals key. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So right in the middle of the 7 key, or right in the middle of the board, really, is the other screw, and then between 1 and 2 here is the other one. And then on the bottom we have 2 screws here, one between the Alt and the Win key, and then pretty much in actually slightly off to the right here on the, also between the I guess in this case if you do 6 to 5 U, this would be between the menu and the Win key, but yeah. And then there's a nice little detail that was, I believe it was also on the Aurumas. It's kind of hard to appreciate here, but it also has a little laser design here that shows a little flower and like a lotus. So pretty cool. I believe this was also on the blocker of the Aurumas on the bottom side. So nice little cute detail, but it's there. All right. So let us get this plate as well. Ew, what's ew? What is ew? Oh, are the inks ew? People don't like inks anymore? Are they too old now? Or, I mean, sorry, not too old, or too out of what's popular now, I guess. Oh, the 6-7. Oh. 6-7. 6-7. Yeah, I know. Stop my ears. Sorry. Kids these days. SMH. Alright, man, you're pushing 40 now? I'm not pushing 40. What the hell? Hey, that's kind of mean. I'm not pushing 40. What the heck? Alright, let's talk a little bit about the bezels on this board. So if you take a look here, we have, kind of like this chamfer design. We have an inner chamfer here. It's a smaller, kind of like for the frame. And then we have thinner sides compared to the front and the back. I believe basically this chamfer here, this chamfer here is like a little bit towards the back, but I believe the, effective, thickness of this, right, is basically the same. It's just the position of that chamfer is essentially different. So this one is kind of it's kind of more similar to like a cherry lip would be, right? Kind of like a little bit more closer to the inner frame of the board, and then this one is kind of closer to the back of the board, right? And then you kind of have that you're running uniformly around all the way to the sides, and then towards the front you kind of get this like bigger lip from the chamfer here on the frame. So but this thickness and this thickness I believe are the same, and then we have these two thinner sides. So pretty nice proportions in my opinion. I think pretty nice looking, because it does lend to make itself look a little bit thicker, but making the chamfers like this makes it look pretty nice. So good looking design. My bad. Let's see. When you lube switches, which parts do you usually lube? When I lube switches, I usually lube. Wait, where can I tell you? How can I tell you? Here, I can do this. I just grabbed a random stem of a switch from some time ago. I don't know when. I will typically lube like the sides. Like if it's like a linear, right? I'll lube like this side, you know, this side and the opposite side. So these two sides, and then I will lube. If it's like a linear, I might lube the front leg a little bit. If it's a tactile, I will not touch the front leg at all. And I personally prefer to lube this part here, like the end of the rail here, where basically I'll, you know, in the full travel switches that will make contact with the switch bottom. Whoopsie, with the switch bottom. So I'll also lube that, but you know, it's pretty much just a bare touch, like a barely touching with the brush, right? But yeah, basically sides, front legs, and this bottom part. That's it. And then for springs, so I have a random spring here. For springs, I'll just dunk these into like a takeout container or like a plastic bag, and then I will put these with either Krytox 105 or with I use Victorinox tool oil. That also will do, like any oil really, any like stable like PTFE based oil will do, and then just shake it up, and then you know, pick them out with tweezers, and you know, basically kind of like make sure they're not like soaked in oil like completely, because it's like, you know, you don't want them to like be dripping in oil. You just want them to be coated. So that's good enough usually. So springs, I do that, and then I don't really touch top housings. And bottom housings, there was a time I used to lube like the rails portion, right? So like, so I have a bottom housing here. It's cut off because I was using this for like a HKB blocker portion. But I used to lube like, you know, like these sides, but now I don't. I pretty much ignore the bottom now. Don't really lube anything at the bottom. If there is an excess of lube though, sometimes I'll wipe it off. Like I'll either get like a Q-tip or like a little, you can get like a, you know, like a paper towel or something, and just kind of like jam it to like absorb some of the, you know, oil or grease in there. Just kind of like get rid of it if there's too much of it. I usually don't bother doing that unless it's getting in the way of the switch step, right? Like if you feel like it's gonna affect the motion, like the action of the switch, then you could clean it up. But I would say generally, I think a lot of cases it's just like maybe barely on the leaf or lining the bottom, but the bottom usually is unaffected unless it's like too close to the sides. So if that's the case, then I don't touch it. Yeah. Diego, what are some full travels that you like? Full travel, what? Linears, tactiles? If we're talking about linears, let me see. You know, there's Gateron Inks. Oil Kings were pretty good for a while. I did enjoy those for a while. I actually do still enjoy like some Duroc and JWK, like alpacas and similar stuff for full travels. Those like pseudo full travel switches from HMX were actually not bad. Like those like Sonias, or like those like it was like the Game 1989. Those were also pretty good. OP Blacks, Popus, basically those are pretty good too. Gateron X, but that's basically a milky Gateron switch, I would say, so it doesn't really count for you, I think. There was a time I would have a bunch of lavenders too, like from Duroc. I enjoyed those for a while. And then for tactiles, I feel like I don't really try too much outside of like MX Clears and MX Purple. I mean, MX Clear, MX Purple, and MX Browns, really. But occasionally I'll like try like stuff out, like out there. Like I have like a build with pewters. I have a build with like cotton candy. I have a build with what was that other one? And then I have a few like long pole builds, but I guess that doesn't count. I'm trying to think of what else I have that's full travel. Silent full travel? I don't use silence, generally speaking. If I have silent switches, it's usually just Topre. Yeah, I don't really do silent MX switches. I don't like them that much. I appreciate them for what they are, but I don't have a need for it, so I don't really use them ever. Yeah. Okay, so I guess since we are now here, let us so I have these inks to use. Let's build our board. So let's choose the plates. So we have a carbon fiber plate and an aluminum plate, and I think I'll just do a quick poll here. So Gat inks on what plate? Alu CF. I'll let you guys vote, so you guys can choose that in the chat. Yeah. All right. So I just wanted to also show here. Let me see. There's a website. So if you open up the website from RAE, it's I think it's recreations.co. There's a page for the Aurum, and I'll just kind of walk you through it. But basically says they wanted to create something that felt equally deliberate but carried a different kind of presence. Optimize you from brilliance and facets. Aurum finds beauty in composition. So 60%. Basically, still kind of like geometric. And then I'll kind of skip a little bit of the blurbs, but you have some pictures here, some nice pictures of the different colors. We have cerulean blue, heritage green, there's red, and then I think the other one is black, obsidian black. There's WinKey and HHKB. There's actually no WinKeyless version of this board, so there's going to be WinKey and HHKB. 7.8 degree case angle. Front height is between like 18 to 19.5 ish. So 17.7 to 19.5, and then unbuilt 1.6 to about 2 kilos, fully built. Alu, and then all brass weights on the inside with a badge. And then we have gasket integrated top mount. So essentially it uses, so if you can look at these renders, it uses gaskets kind of like to line this part of the plate. Essentially to add a little bit of the dampening from the gaskets, but it still uses screws to mount the plate to the top of the case, right? So 50-50. Okay, I'll pick then. And then vendors and pricing: Divinity, Gion, KBD Fans, KTEX, and RAE. International raffle will be hosted by RAE, and on the Chinese raffle will be run separately, hosted by KBD Fans. Dates are to be announced, and base kits are 2,000 ringgit with PCB, and let's look up 2,000 MYR to USD. That's 489 US dollars. So 489 US dollars. It's not a cheap kit in particular, I would say, but you know, if you like it, then you know you can go for it. So included in the kit is pretty much what you saw today so far, and then layouts at the bottom, and then there's an FAQ at the bottom of the page. All right. Pick CF. Inks. I don't know. Inks and Alu I've done before. Let me see if I have any ink builds that are non-Alu. I did Alu. Wow, I have a bunch of builds with them. FR4 half brass. Wow. Alu. Oh, we could try CF then, if you guys want. Do you guys think CF is gonna be nice with Gat inks? Actually, not sure. I feel like Alu, I know what it's gonna sound like, but I'm not sure about CF, to be honest. Half palm. Oh, that was back in the day. Acrylic, alu, brass, alu, 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 half, more alu, a lot of alu, yeah, some palm, some plastic plates here and there, and FR4. Ink CF is pretty good. Wait, actually? You think so? You guys think so? I don't know, I'm kind of torn. I do have to commit because it's a solderable build. Ink CF. Definitely torn. Yeah, it's these. I have not heard many CF builds. Would be keen to hear it, good or bad. Okay, let's try CF because I think I know what to expect when it comes to an aluminum inks build, but I don't know what to expect when it comes to a CF build. I feel like CF tends to accentuate tactiles, but for linears, it's kind of a toss-up, in my opinion. Sometimes it sounds pretty nice, sometimes it kind of mutes the switch. Or like it just like doesn't sound very like lively sometimes. It just kind of depends. It's a mixed bag. Layout wise, oh, should I do 625 or should I do 7U? Ooh, I'm torn. Oh man, split or regular backspace too. Oh shoot. Six to 5 or 7U. I think full backspace for this one. I kind of want to hear the backspace on this board. Okay. Maybe I'll go with 6 to 5 today. I don't want to try. It's been a minute. Okay, so 6 to 5 win key. So let's see, left shift, enter, backspace, no right shift. Actually, that's an extra. And then I had a 6 to 5 wire somewhere around here. Okay, here it is. I have a gold wire. And then we have 2, 4, 6, 8. I actually don't know what key set I want to put on this. This color is kind of tricky. When it comes to that. Hyperfuse? Hyperfuse would be good. Yeah. Like Hyperfuse Origins maybe might be good. Actually even the regular one. GMK Cyan might actually work fine too, but I think Cyan is bluer, so maybe not. Yeah, never mind. Actually, I kind of retract that one. TA90, yeah, TA90 would work too. TA90 is bluer for sure though, so TA90 would like make some contrast with the case, yeah. Euro would go hard here. Oh, Euro has red mods, or damn, I don't remember what Euro looked like. Yeah, it's like kind of like burgundy-ish, right? Modifiers and white alphas. I don't have GMK Finer things though, so can't do that one. It was like one of those sets that I didn't ever really think of getting because it was not as much what I wanted at the time. I don't really think if I ever would want that set, to be honest. It's a little too much for me. Oopsie, sorry. Is the music too loud or anything, guys? You can let me know if it bothers you. I think it should be fine. Usually set it to reasonable-ish volume. Music's at a good level. Okay, thank you. Shones, also hi. I don't think I saw you earlier at the beginning. How are you doing? Are you oh, it's the weekend. What you up to this weekend, buddy? I hope it's restful. I know you have pretty busy work stuff. But I hope that you are having a good weekend. It is super cold here in Korea. How cold is super cold? Can you define super cold for me? I was recently in Toronto and it was fucking freezing there, dude. Some days it was like it said like feels like minus like 18 and I was like, fuck me. Currently 15F-ish. What's that in Celsius? I don't do Fahrenheit. I'm sorry. I actually don't. -9? Yeah, okay, -9 is pretty cold. Yeah, I think okay, I have to say I'm a little bit squeamish when it comes to cold, but I prefer the cold over the heat. That said, like I feel like if I'm, you know, because you can dress up for the cold. For the heat is like much hard to manage, I feel. But that said, I feel like yeah, when you hit like minus 10 Celsius, whatever that is, right? Like I guess that's teens in Fahrenheit, or like, you know, under 20s, right? It's definitely considered very cold, right? And so, yeah, I'll definitely be complaining when that happens. But with wind blowing constantly, okay, yeah, wind chill is actually that's true. In Korea, you get a lot of wind, like wind chill. It's very common in the winter. I have experienced some really cold winters in Korea too. When I would visit. Last time I visited for a winter in Korea, it was like so cold. Whether being -12 C or 15 C is fine. -15 is fine. The wind is a problem. Yeah, it's really the wind. Yeah. I recently got I feel like I recently got like a nice vest. And it was nice to like layer up like that too. Obviously, yes. Obviously, like it's nice to have an outer shell to break some of the wind, but yeah. Yeah, no. With wind chill, it's hard to tolerate. All right. So, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. I agree with using C for everything, but there's a wider range of numbers and relative human scales for F. I feel like the thing is, there is also a relative human scale for Celsius. Like, people who use Celsius on a regular basis understand what a relative human scale is in Celsius. But it is true that because Fahrenheit units are you cover a larger range of numbers over, you know, like the applicable domain of temperatures. It is you get a little bit more granularity, I guess, like without going into decimals or anything like that, right? So I kind of understand that. That said, let's not forget that basically everyone in the world other than the US essentially uses Celsius. So yeah. 5 to 25 is my range. Yeah, I definitely agree with that range. I definitely start wearing a lot more under, like, you know, closer to 0. And then at -10, I'm definitely complaining about the cold, personally. But and yeah, I think for heat it depends, right? Because of the humidity thing. Like 20s and humid can still be like yucky, but obviously, you know, like a hot and humid summer like in Asia, like hitting 30s, mid 30s Celsius, and humid is like death if you don't have like air conditioning. I use Kelvin. Okay, buddy. Okay, chemistry major. I just took OChem and I use Kelvin for everything. 298 Kelvin, my favorite room temperature. I get it. Who's Kevin? Yeah, who's Kevin? Kelvin is superior. Absolute 0. One day the universe is gonna hit absolute 0. Is that what it is? People who are used to Celsius will never understand how F works naturally and vice versa. Yeah, kind of true. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I do understand how Fahrenheit works. Like, I kind of get it when people say, like, oh, this degrees, right? Like in Fahrenheit. And I understand that it's like a more, it's almost like a more colloquial term, so to speak. I do feel like for cooking or for like baking and things like that, like doing the back and forth between Fahrenheit and Celsius is actually so annoying. And certainly you don't want to be converting units like that when you're doing like engineering or science work, right? It's just annoying. It's just plain annoying. Just stick to one system that works and then just go with that, right? Obviously, if you're used to it, then, you know, use whatever your workmates are okay with. But yeah. Why is Kevin? Having all the recipes using the imperial units is annoying. I actually kind of appreciate like when people like things are like in cups, but I hate ounces, dude. Ounces are like an evil fucking unit. I hate ounces. Like the fact that like an ounce is like 28 grams or some shit like that is so irritating. Like, who the fuck counts in ounces? Nobody. That's what it is. What the fuck is a teaspoon? Fair. I mean, well, when you have a actual teaspoon and you kind of want a ballpark, I mean, for cooking, it's fine, right? For baking, iffy. You know, you baking, you don't want to mess that up. You don't want to mess up your numbers because baking, in baking, like those ratios do get pretty granular and things can like actually go wrong when you don't measure. So if you're a type of person who measures a lot and prefers things measured out, baking is definitely the play. It's more of a chemistry formula, but for cooking you can sort of eyeball some things. I want to say stoners use ounces pretty well. That's true. That is true. Yeah. That's true. I mean, generally, yeah. I mean, I guess it's the same with like tablespoon, right? If you're measuring by volume, you're doing it wrong. Yeah. Measuring by volume can be pretty tricky. Yeah. Like also people will measure it differently by volume. They'll look at the meniscus of the fluid and be like, oh, this is where it stops. Like this is a cup. This is half a cup, or whatever it is. Obviously, worse when using smaller numbers, but. But yeah, I think yeah, I agree with NC. Exactly what NC is saying is the annoying part, which is conversion between bigger and smaller units is super annoying. There's no like regularity to it. Like sure, like it's easy to know when it's like 4 chords. Okay, I know that one, right? But like but yeah, like the you know, like the 16-to-1 and like the 4-to-1 and like all these other ones, like it kind of annoying. Or like, you know, distances, that's even worse. like yards and feet and that kind of stuff, that's even worse for sure. I still know the conversions though. Like I still remember the conversions from back when I was in school. Like I still know that 1609 meters is a mile and 1853 meters is a nautical mile. These are like conversions that you would have to memorize for like late elementary school math class or science class or whatever. But yes, if you work in the kitchen for any reason, just get a scale. You know, get a weight scale. Get also a set of your measuring cups and you know, the little handle beakers or whatever. Yeah, they're a godsend. They're great. Just use those. 2.54 centimeters in 1 inch. Yeah, or 30.48 centimeters in 1 foot. I think it's 944 centimeters or 94.4 centimeters for a yard. I know it's almost a meter, but it's not quite a meter. Something like that. You're hurting my dumb brain. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. But for people who lift, for example, you guys do pounds, right? Like for sports, a lot of people do pounds, but there's also people who still do kilos for a lot of things too. So I think for things like sports, it can be a bit of a mix. I've heard. Some people do kilos, some people do pounds. But I've definitely heard it from both sides. I know someone who does both essentially, because when they were jumping between like numbers, it was more convenient to do pounds for a certain range, and then they just switched to kilos. I do kilos, never pounds. Oh, okay. I know people who are like sticklers to pounds, right? They're like, oh, you know, add 5 pounds here, add 5 pounds there. 2.54 and 3.3 feet equals 1 meter is about the most they teach us. Oh, I see. All the powerlifters, powerlifting meets use kilos. Oh, okay, I think that makes sense. I think if it's regulated, like if you are a powerlifter, like if you participate in meets or competitions and things like that, I think they should use a same system, right? Why mix it up? Why make it confusing? Force everybody to use the same system. I mean, hello, this is why systems exist. This is why we have measuring like standards. This is why we have literally international organizations dedicated to creating a standard and having everyone stick to it. But yes, we do have unfortunately we do have places that just don't like to stick to standards. Like the United States. Or I don't know, it's like yeah, sure, American football yards, but you know, everything else meters, right? Sometimes it is dumb that some Korean gym buy American gym gear and they all use pounds. Oh, that can be annoying. Oh, that's so annoying actually. If you're like used to something and then they like switch the gear out and you have to use the other units and you're like, what the fuck is this? And you're like whipping out your phone to like look up the units. That is actually pretty annoying. Is that a custom blue F1 at the top? No, it's the origami decal from Kresna and Plus KB. American equipment is genuinely good. This is true. This is true. Ooh, I can appreciate this nice little detail. That plate aligns perfectly with the on the logo for the PCB. There's times when this goes wrong because PCB and keyboard designers don't correspond perfectly, or like the versions of the files are slightly off. Yeah, and they'll make that mistake. Yeah, I've seen that happen many times. Okay, let's I need to test the stabs before we keep going here. Inks on CF in 26, Zam? Yeah, hey. Sometimes we got, I mean, hey, if we have Cherry elitists in the chat, like people who are like, oh, I use Cherry for everything, dog, then, you know, sometimes it's fine to go for those old combos, old forgotten combos that no one does. It's just like if it was like, hey guys, Zelio's built today, on a brass plate, bud. It's like, now that's a throwback. I have been itching to use Oil Kings. Oil Kings are great switches. Oil Kings are fantastic, in my opinion. Yeah, I only use Cherry. How can you tell? Ni howdy, Cherry MX user. Nice. They sound pretty good. Man, it's been a while since I've done an inks build, outside of for like some client work. Oh, one sec, guys. Okay, I'm back. We've been lately been watching. We've been on a kick watching What We Do in the Shadows. We just finished season 1 of What We Do in the Shadows. We're like in the middle of season 2. It's such a funny show. We've been having a blast watching that. Just catching up on TV that we missed, you know, before. It's been good. Staten Island. Nandor the Relentless. We've just been saying shit like that. Staten Island. Colin Robinson. Poor Guillermo. Poor Guillermo. Matt Berry is amazing. I call people Colin Robinson when they are boring me. That's good. Oh. I thought that board was a Synovia. The blue one? No, it's the origami. It's the origami. Exclamation keyboard if you want to know about the board here. Or if you want to know like the specs on this board. This is the one I have on the desk. Thoughts on the GMK Foundation? Oh, well, I literally just took some photos with it. I think it's a great versatile set. Like if you look at this post here, that one I have a GMK Foundation with no accents on it, and it's a nice set in my opinion. I think I had a build with accents right here. This is a build with accents. I think it's a nice neutral set. I think it's like there's a lot of neutral sets to be honest. This is a set that kind of stands in between like a cooler gray it has like a warmer grage sort of tone to the modifiers, as you can see from the photos. And so it is like a versatile set in terms of like, if you don't want to lean too much into just like pure monochrome or like gray tones, this is a nice set to sort of fill in that gap, and also not to go like fully retro beige vibes. So yeah, for that reason, I think this is a pretty nice set. I personally think the accents on GMK Foundation are probably one of the best out there. Just in terms of like the color combinations, like the color choices that they that the designer made for those accents is really good. It's really nice. Kind of works with other things too, if you like want to try with other things out there. So, but yeah, it's a good nice set. So haven't gotten around to gay hockey. No, we haven't gotten around to gay hockey yet. We are trudging through our log of things that we want to watch. I would say that our more recent obsession with vampire lore has been stronger, and so we went to watch. We watched more intense, manipulative vampires, and then went to watching more silly and funny vampires of Staten Island. And so, it was like a logical jump, So yeah. No, I mean, it's not like a log. It's actually more like a list of shows that we've been meaning to watch, kind of thing. But we don't actually have an order to go through. We just went with what we do in the shadows because it was like a natural progression from, look at the vampires. So yeah. Like, I think the like a big part, like in the pilot episode of What We Do in the Shadows, had a really funny part where Guillermo makes a reference to Interview with the Vampire, and we're like, that's pretty hilarious. So yeah. Okay. New York City, Manhattan. Yes. I do not live in Manhattan anymore, so I can't talk too much about it. I recently watched Nosferatu. That's a damn good movie. I'll check it out. The set screams it needs the accents. We'll probably copy and getting those together with the Dolch. Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah, don't feel too pushed to get Foundation if you already have some neutral stuff out there, though, because the reality is that as much as there are these like louder sets, there's also quite a lot of these neutral toned, like boring quote unquote sets. I think that's fine. It's fine to have boring sets. XSW gang watching for movie night sadly determined that he had no butt. Oh, it's an important metric. Huh? How bubbly? Huh? How rotund? How what was that? Ample yet firm. Why did I just discover your site is very informative and organized? Oh, thank you. It's really like for me, for bookkeeping. If I can show you like a trick like I do. It's also nice because it also goes into like, you can do a Google search and it's kind of easy to search for it. Like for example, if I want to look for how many, like if I use GMK Foundation in because it's in the description, right? I'll type something like GMK Foundation, and then you'll do like the syntax for Google where you can search by specific domains. So you can do like site lightningkeywords.com, and for example, that will give you hits for like search results. Obviously you have the pages that have been indexed using the text GMK Foundation, right? So you can like search my website with Google. Unfortunately, Squarespace, which is what I'm using currently to host the website, isn't particularly great at implementing some of these things. and so it's just easier to use the Google indexed search bar for that. But yeah, it's helpful for me as a record keeper, kind of, to just have photos and descriptions of stuff I've built in the past. I really started doing it just for my own sake, and then people have told me like, oh, can you add this, can you add that? Like before I didn't have the little like layout clicker, and I added that, and so on and so forth. And it's been useful. I mean, obviously it's helped me a lot too on my, I guess, keyboard career, so to speak, where like people have found me locally, especially. I think has been really, really nice. I've had local clientele here be like, oh, like I just Googled like New York City keyboard builder or keyboard repair or whatever, and they'll like hit the website and be like, oh, that's why I hit you up. And I was like, oh, that's nice. Oh, that's good. Like sometimes I just answer people's questions, and that's about all I do. I don't really do a full build for people, but sometimes I'll just do that, and that's good enough, right? I guess unless it's helpful, it's good. So yeah, for those reasons, it's been good, like for discovery, I guess. But yeah, initially I really just did it because I just wanted to document things and keep things in order in a singular place, and doing it on like a bigger website like Reddit or what have you, it can be unreliable because things that get hosted sometimes get taken down, or it's not fully under your control, so to speak. What version of inks are these? V1, V2, or V2 Pro? Holy moly, that's a tough question. I'm gonna say V1. They actually came off from an old build. These were initially on an Iron 165 V1. So I'm assuming V1 for back in that time. These are like 2.5 Lube and Deskeys films. But and then I spring swapped them from their original 70-gram springs to 65. But yeah, I think these are V1. It was almost negative, but we also have a nearly unbroken record of boob every movie night. That's funny. I guess that's it's like a little shortcut in terms of showing explicit. Don't remember any ass from the movie. If it ain't memorable, then yeah. SEO go burr. SEO helpful for sure. That said, I don't really do any, like, it's not like I ever look at metrics or analysis or analytics, my bad. I just upload it and that's it. SEO, let the search engine itself do its own thing, right? But yeah, I don't really touch it myself. I just don't bother. Too much time focusing on things like that. All right, let's solder this bad boy up. 10-hour soldering iron here. And solder. Top 3 GMK sets. Holy difficult question. Okay, I think by default I will exclude what people call like the trifecta, like the classic trifecta of key sets, which is Wob, Dolch, and Beige, because they are essentially like based on retro-ish aesthetics, and like they're undeniably like neutral and easy to like pair with a lot of things. So I'm gonna take those out of the equation. But some sets that I personally really like, I really like Hyperfuse Origins a lot. It's one of the sets I love. Another set I personally really like is I'm gonna say, like, so I like colorful sets too, and one of the ones, I don't know which one to mention, but maybe I would say, I feel like Taro for me is like very high up there set for me. It's like it kind of uses many different colors to accomplish what it does, but it does it pretty well. DCS Super Weld opinion. If you like DCS and you like Hyperfuse, I mean, not Hyperfuse. Super Weld is basically that. So I guess buy it if you like it. Price wise, it looks okay. Not too cheap. A little on the expensive side, but I mean, DCS. I mean, like SP pricing has never been really that good, and also yeah, it's just one of those things. You know, vendors have to put food on the table too for all their employees and whatever, yada yada. So pricing is pricing. Just kind of vote with your wallet if you like it or not. But I think it's a nice set. Picking a third is hard. DMG and Nerve are up there for you. Blue Alert is great, yes. I mean, but Blue Alert I consider like a variant of beige, so I try not to like pair it with my like top. But one set that I think is really like clean and accomplishes a lot with being neutral and having like looking good with accents personally is Honeywell. I really like Honeywell. It's like just black, it's white, gray, and red. It's a nice set. It's hard to say a top 3. I mean, like if you want, like there's like basically I could tell you like top favorite sets by color almost. Like I feel like among reds, I really like burgundy. Among greens, I like either. I feel like Taiga recently went up there on the list, but I really also like Dandy. And Campy was up there too before any of these came out. What else? I mean, Orange Carbon is the best in my opinion among orange sets. Ski Data is the close second because it's just gray and orange. Yeah. Yellow is kind of tough actually. Yellow you have like Serica, I guess. Serica. Greg if you want something fun. Feng Lisu if you want something more pastel-y. Honey, but it's a little bit too much yellow and little contrast, but it works, it's still there. I think Greg is a tough choice in the sense that it's mostly whimsical, like it's fun. It's definitely it's a fun and well done set, but to call it just yellow is kind of tough. But yeah, I mean it's good. There's no way my professor just said yellow is tough. What's next? Red, orange, yellow. Roy G Biff. I guess blue. Oh well, this one GMK Hydro is a peak blue set. GMK now called GMK Splash on its comeback round 2, whatever you want to call it. I think GMK Hydro was a set that truly defined a great blue set amongst a lot of keyboard enthusiasts back in like 2016, 2017. Hydro was truly iconic. Like Hydro really created a big like rush in making these N9 and like lighter keycap like alphas like sets out there, and so Hydro definitely has to go amongst the top blue sets out there. Well, I guess what's next? Like Indigo. What would you really say? Like I don't know what to put for Indigo, but I mean there's like other like kind of like bluish greenish sets that like TA like Triumph Allard. TA90 I would say is like the better set for that, but that one's a little bit more on the blue side. Prussian Blue is definitely my top 3. Ooh yes, Prussian Blue. That's a recent set that came out. Prussian Blue is definitely like one of the most subtle and nicely colored blue sets that has come out in recent years, and it is very good for a 2-color set. It's kind of rare for me to feel very strongly about them. because it's just 2 colors, so it either works or it doesn't, right? But Prussian blue is it's like a nice balance between like a darker blue and then like it has a tinge of green, so it's pretty playful. It's pretty interesting. Yeah. And then for purple sets, I mean, I mentioned Taro earlier, but I think the other set to mention is probably Violet on Cream. I think Violet on Cream is very classy, but also, you know, just kind of like pure purple, you know, vibe for the set. Purple Knight, again, Purple Knight is in that category of purple sets where I feel like just okay about it. Like it's purple and white, so it's either works or it doesn't. I think 2 color sets just like have the versatility of being 2 color sets, but I feel like it's more fun when they have the 3 colors minimum. Like basically 1 alpha color to kind of separate it from the modifiers. But it's a good set nonetheless. Regal is good, but the problem with Regal for me is that it's very dark. It's a very dark set. It's a very dark purple. It can be a little deceptive how dark the purple on that set is actually. Q1 Denim for Indigo. Denim is such a good set. Denim is super underrated in my opinion. But it is like, Denim is like one of the sets that I feel like executes its theme so well. So well. I love Denim, like the Denim key set. Q1 is good because it comes with so much compatibility. But it's on the safe choice of colors too. It's like gray and purple, like a lighter purple, right? Violet Tendencies I don't like. Violet Tendencies is very low contrast. So I don't like Violet Tendencies. I actually had Violet Tendencies, but sold it myself. So I did not have Violet Tendencies. And also don't really love that set. NTD, I think, is a better set. Yeah, so if you can't find, for example, if you cannot get Hyperfuse, NTD is a perfect replacement. And then let's talk about like more other colors, like pink. Beloved is a good set. Not quite pink, but like reddish pink, right? Then you have Symbiote. Symbiote is a very powerful set in my opinion. Super nice. The like membrane accents are super cool. The whole concept around Symbiote, GMK Symbiote, is like fantastic. It's like all the Pico Alu sets, to be honest, they're great. Like Dracula, Symbiote, like those two, like banger. Really good. Dracula obviously has a basis on the like the IDE stuff, right? But Symbiote, original idea, really good, really well executed. Great choice of colors. Bingsu is another one that I think has an excellent choice of colors too. But you know, works really nicely. So yeah. Darling is tricky in my opinion. It's a good set because it uses like a very punchy red and like that like nice light pink, but it doesn't, I don't think it works on a lot of stuff too. It's like, it can be a little bit tricky. It can be a little bit too much. It's like saying like you want like classic red or classic blue on something. It can be like just a little too much. Was Taro said? Yeah, I think for me Taro is peak purple, purplish colorway. Along with Violet on Cream. I think those two are my top purple containing sets. Or at least like primarily purplish sets. Okay, so let's see. So this is top mount with gaskets, right? So let me see. So I think I just mount the I think I'm just supposed to put the plate on the case with the screws, and then I put the gaskets just underneath, kind of like a padding. Maybe if William's around still, he can tell me about if I'm doing anything wrong. I think this is right based on the render. We actually did not talk about the design much. It was just kind of sent to me to check out and review. It's almost like a blind. I actually did not know much about it. Did not look at much before this. So there's always a slight chance I could be doing something wrong, but I think I read that right. Yeah, the gaskets are... Yeah, I mean, I see the slots on the bottom case, so that's what I figured. I was so excited to do my derivative EC build, and I forgot to buy stems. Oh, no! You forgot to buy stems? Like the one-use sliders? So you have the plate and the PCB, but you forgot the one-use sliders? Zam. Ooh, I like these bump-ons. What are these bump-ons? Do we have a number on these bump-ons? I kind of want to buy some of these. Clear and nicely, like, thick. So they kind of, like, actually separate the case from the rest of the desk. I like this. I like these bump-ons. Maybe I can get a sheet of black ones of this and clear ones. I think that would be good to just have in stock for me, for people, and for myself. And they're like the same size as the 5302 or whatever the number is. I never thought I would care so much about bump. It's so important. It is so important. People can't say that you can't care about bump-ons. Bump-ons determine the way a keyboard types and feels completely, like the way it sounds on your desk. Bump-ons are the first point of contact, okay? If your board doesn't have bump-ons, then your board is the first point of contact. But if you put bump-ons on for any reason, those become the first point of contact. So they determine how your board is going to sound. So how could they not be important? They're extremely important. I can only urge designers to feel extremely compelled to basically, you know, try what works for their design when it comes to bump-ons. Super, super, super important. I've been sitting on the PCB and play from Clever for a few months too. No, I'm sorry. Now after the hobby, I notice them everywhere. 3M is such a big company though. Like what? Like, dude, if you're in like an engineering kind of like geared company and you do work akin to what 3M does in the industry, it's like insane. Because they're like a material science company, right? And like they just put out so much out there, like both in volume. Oh my god, this one bump on here is like impossible to unstick for whatever reason. I'm just gonna keep going with the next one. They make like everything, dude. They're everywhere. Everywhere. If you wonder why they're so huge, like why they're such a big company, it's like, yeah, they supply for fucking everyone. Everyone. In all sorts of applications. Insane. They're so cool. I think their work is super cool. I mean, obviously, the fact that you're ubiquitous and everywhere also means that you might end up putting product in some whack industries out there, but it's such is life, and such is the life of a corporation, I guess. Yeah. Oh, God. So I'm trying hard to not rip off these bump-ons from, I mean these gaskets from the adhesive. Okay. Now imagine you're Patty and you don't even use feeties. Wait, Patty doesn't use bump-ons? She doesn't like them? Maybe? But maybe, you know, but see, that's why. Some people prefer a certain way, right? So maybe she just prefers not to use them. Should be SJ5306. Okay, I'll write that down. Mr. Kupo, thank you. These are no 3MSJ5376. Okay, I'm writing those two. Okay, 5306 and 5376. Okay, maybe they're different color. I don't know. Diego explained how bump-ons placed 2 millimeters away from the ideal position completely ruins the typing experience. Hey, dude, it's important stuff for keyboards. Anyway, thank you, Kupo. And Eisenheim, how are you, Diego? I'm doing all right, thank you. I had a pretty busy week at work. We had a big work trip kind of stuff, and so I was just, you know, for like these work trips, like a coworker and I like drive, so you know, I was away and driving a lot. We basically do like equipment testing work for some of our projects, and so we do it off-site, so driving involved for those. But yeah, I was busy with that. Other than that, just doing all right, doing pretty good. You know, I guess kind of work has just been kind of consuming a lot of my time. She doesn't apply them? I don't know if she puts them on her personal boards though. Oh, I didn't know that she didn't apply bump-ons. TIL. Every builder has their own preference with regards to stuff like this. I personally place great importance to bump-ons. I personally would prefer to have them always. I think they're just too important to ignore. And well, this one's coming off without the adhesive for whatever reason. There we go. Field trip? Not quite field trip, but well, I guess field trip in the sense that it's work on the field. Field work. Can we have titanium burnt screws next? Perchance. William has a jewelry experience, right? So I feel like it's like one of those fields that's also very technical, so it's inevitable. Nerdiness is an inevitability of fields like that. It's essentially basically engineering work. Alright, there we go. Gaskets placed. And I have a whole one side left as leftovers. What are these screws? These are just extra bolts, I assume? Yeah, these are just extras, I think. I'm pestering him to make a full gold Aurum. Ah, to live up to the name of the board? Aurum made of Aurum. AU. That's fair. Alright, let us undo this weight here. Let's take it out. Can't show Aurum without full Aurum. Oh yeah. He's gonna make a silver bodied one just to tilt you. Black nickel YSF screws. What's YSF? Is that like a company name? Is that a wait. Hestra, is that the fucking is that the like the ones with the letters on the head of the screw? I think I remember Drew talking about them. Yes, knowing him, he might already have it. Oh dear. Crazy. In his safe somewhere. Wow. Oh. DB goes in the other side of the case. I actually need to take everything out. Okay. Okay. Oh, that gives me the chance for me to show you guys what the weights actually look like. So we have 8 of these little bolts to fasten the plate-like piece of weight here. And then we have 6 more countersunk screws here for the bottom weight, the through weight. That's what I guess I would call them. They're good screws, honestly. I mean, I'm sure they're fine. I'm sure they're nice. High quality screws can be, I mean, to feel nerdy about high quality screws is I think is a very like keyboard person thing to do. Right? All right, there it is. So there comes off the other weights. So now let's flip it around. And so we have this guy here sort of goes, let's see, USB port goes this way, so it kind of goes like that. Okay. So this daughter board just kind of gets routed through here and then through here. And then it looks like I have 2 screws to fasten it up. So check in here. Have you encountered non-magnetic screws? Are you talking about, are you asking me if these are non-magnetic? They are Torx, so they kind of stay. They don't seem highly magnetic on this particular case, but these are Torx, so they like kind of like slot into the screwdriver nicely. Also my screwdriver might be slightly demagnetized by now. You need to regularly magnetize them properly for magnetic screws to sometimes work. So yeah. Okay, these are just extra screws. I think we have these bigger screws here to attach the daughter board. But yeah, if you're asking me if have I encountered like actually non-magnetic screws, yeah, I have. There are a lot of like non-ferrous screws out there for keyboard kits, so it's not as uncommon as you think. I think this fits. Okay, great. Yeah, these are not magnetic though. I think it's fine to have non-magnetic screws as long as you're not working with tricky portions of the board. Like if it's easy to place a screw, then whatever, right? But if you have like narrow portions where you have to like do delicate work and like make sure your thing doesn't slip and fall into the abyss of the board, then having magnetic screws is convenient. Yeah. Yeah. So this is what the daughter board here is like. So the screws do sort of stick out slightly, but there is a little divot on the weight to accommodate for that. And so as you can see, this bigger weight is a through weight. Wow, who is that? Max F. Hello, keyboard enthusiasts. Max F here. I'm going to be showing you in this video how to lube your keyboard stabilizers. That's Max F right there. Wow, hi Max, how are you? Good to see you. Thank you for the Prime sub. All right, so here is the weight. Nice thick weight with an angle. So this one slots in here, right? So just kind of slot it on like that. It kind of, oh wait, I have not slotted it properly. There you go, now it slotted it properly. And then, you know, I guess I can just do it from this side actually. Slot it on, and I guess we'll insert some screws to adhere it. So where's my longer screws here? I thought Diego was excited to see Cole for a second. Hi, Cole. Yeah, I saw Cole. Cole's just been... Hi, Cole. Wait, what's why God? Oh, is that an emote that we don't have here? Hi, Cole. Put on Carbone. Wait, you want Carbone on this? For real? I mean, actually, you want Carbone on everything. Goes on anything? Yeah, I figured. I figured Cole was a true advocate of carbon on in everything that can have it. Okay, I will say, tight spot for this wire, William. This wire, I don't love, honestly, that this case design has a, like, this wire, it will never come off from here, okay? It's a very tight spot for it. So it's I'm not a huge fan personally. I mean, like, I could remove that screw and this could kind of have a little extra room there, but it feels a little tight given that it bends there. But I'm not a huge fan myself of seeing bends on small wires. Just because I know, well, funnily enough, so in my line of work right now, I do work like, I work as an electrical engineer, and so I work with like small PCBs and small components and stuff, and cables with small wires, like small individual wires, bending slightly and breaking is like the biggest headache. And they're like really hard to get to, and to repair. So anytime I see them bend, it kind of triggers me a little bit. But yeah, can be a little tricky. Oh yes, the direction. Oh yes, that's right. The direction of the connection. So this was supposed to go this way, right? This way. Oh, okay, the direction of the connection was done wrong on the DB. It'll face downward. Okay. That's fine then. Yeah. Okay. But I mean, it's actually fine. It's like snug in there. It means it'll never come off ever. Yeah. Let's see. Sorry, William, I forgot. That's my fault. You log in a GavCan Bay, Diego? No, I did not. I lost the raffles, buddy. I don't win raffles that often. I win sometimes, but the big ones I don't think I win that regularly. No, I did not win GAF. I was sad. I wanted to win the Garbus, the cat bus themed cap, and one of those KK caps, but no dice. Diego doesn't get streamer log. I think it's fine. I think I would rather see it be fair and square. I think having extra chance for whatever reason is pretty unfair, so I don't think that's nice. Does anyone know what is the actual angle of a cherry lip on a case? Is there a defined angle or does it vary? I don't have a protractor, but I have a cherry case I can show you if you want to see it. Getting out of the resin game was fun while it lasted for 6 months or so. Well, I'm happy you had fun, but yes, I would personally not recommend the resin game for most people because it's costly, it's a lot, and yeah, and it's not an investment. Let's be honest with you. Don't get into resin thinking you're getting investment stuff. Like, you're not investing on anything. You're sinking your money 100%, and it's gonna go away and it's gonna be worthless. It's just gonna be a piece of plastic, and they'll eventually degrade. They'll eventually yellow. Yeah, and it'll just look like toys to other people. It looks stupid. And you know, if you appreciate the art, then, you know, by all means. But don't get into it thinking that you're serious business. Just like more sneakers or whatever. You know, no, it's not. It really is not. Do not. Yeah. Hello, Mick Fernando. Hello, hello. How's it going? Okay, so now let's plug in this very small cable connector. Still not difficult to maneuver. Still 4-pin. Nice and easy because it's nice and coiled. And then we can just close it up, right? So I'll just make sure it doesn't get tangled up on anything. And just like that. Top mount feel for sure. Has that rigidity of top mount. Haku would kind of work on this, honestly. Oh, actually, yeah. It would. Gorb? Ooh, Gorb would be nice on this too, yeah. Too bad it's not out yet, right? Do you already make the build guide? I actually did not scan the QR code, William, but just for people, if they built with full backspace, just tell people to press on the switch, because if they don't, they might be like, oh, the screw doesn't fit. I'm like, yeah, just press down a little bit on the plate and it'll fit, because it's right in the middle of the switch. So people might say like, oh, the switch gets in the way of the screw. Other than that, everything's been pretty smooth here. I can appreciate this screwless pocket screw tech with the angled screw going in here, and everything fitting nicely together. Man, this is a nice color. Beautiful. All right, so there's our board. Look at that, really clean. Really like how this is looking. Who was asking about cherry lips? Who was it? Cherry lips. Who asked? Whose lips? Oh, it was Fedeveo. Yeah, that's right. I can get the cherry case. Give me a sec. I'm back. I'm here. I was just getting this. So so I was just gonna show. This is what the cherry lip originally looks like. So it's this is a full size like NCR branded cherry case, but this is a G83000, I guess, model wise. And so that's the side profile of the cherry case. And so as you can see, it's like kind of like a nice filleted, softer curve look on the sides, but then you have like this chamfer here. So that's what people call the cherry lip. So from like the top down, or like from the frontal view, you kind of have it almost lined up to the blocker here, almost lined up to the very edge of the case, and then like basically leaning down towards the front so that you can get a very thin front height essentially. But the angle of this, it's hard to say. I mean, I feel like it's maybe like it's a very small angle. I feel this. I mean, actually, I don't know. This, I don't know. Maybe like, you think maybe this could be like a what degree is, what case angle do we have here on the Aurum? We have 7.8, so let's say 8 degrees. So if I compare this angle to this angle. Yeah, maybe like 8° here. Like on, like kind of like if you extend this all the way down to the base, I think that could be like, you know, if you like did like a protractor here like this, that could be like 8° or so. And you would have to measure it accurately, but yeah. But yeah, it's basically like a steeper angle to essentially give you a much lower front height at the very tip of the case. So that's the idea behind the cherry lip cases, but that's what it looks like. I'm not sure if Feo was still here to see that, but that's what it is. Maybe they'll see it later. All right, folks. What key set should we put on this? I know some people suggested hyperfuse before. Some people suggested what else I got suggested before. TA, I think someone said. Uru, I remember. I think Epsilon said. Stone. Oh, I don't have Stone. X Hoots X asks, you sell any of these? Rarely. So a lot of these units tend to either go back to a designer, and I think in this case this one's sticking around for a bit. It depends. I usually don't sell like prototype builds and things like that. I usually tend to I do giveaways sometimes for the community. I like do occasionally do like gifts and things like that. But selling, it's pretty rare. Maybe if it's like much older, like already produced, I might like have like stuff to sell, but like it's pretty rare. I almost never sell boards from like back when. Usually they go out on giveaways and events, usually almost all the time. Actually, I would say like 99% of the time. I've had like one person who was like, hey, can I like buy this? And I was like, oh, this is from like years back. And I was like, I don't think I have it anymore. And then they're like, can you check? And I was like, yeah, sure. And they checked, and I was like, okay, yeah, sure. It's like, okay, you can take it. But yeah. Your OTD mini has been produced already. I'll take it. You have one. Stop this greed. I do not have Hagu, so I can't do Hagu. Is there a price known for this yet? It is 2,000 Malaysian ringgit for the base, which is around 450 USD. Yeah. SoWaRe? Oh, I do have SoWaRe, actually. SoWaRe could be fun. GMK? GMK Stealth. Let me actually check some sets. Let me see what sets I could suggest to you guys. I'll suggest some sets myself. So I think someone suggested Hyperfuse, SoWaRe. I don't have any sets, by the way. Let's see. I have a lot of GMK though. I feel like cyan is too bright on the blue, but I'll just put it in there anyway. Oh, that's a rare set. I have Delta. Oh, not rare, but like don't see it mentioned that often. I have Earth Tones. Looking through. Sorry guys, one sec. Yeah, I mean Hyperfuse Origins I mentioned just now. You know, Keyboard and Co is too like on the nose, and I think it's too bright, so I'm gonna veto that one myself. Modern Dolce with the bluish accent could be actually kind of nice. Yeah. I agree with Technicolor. That's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, the accent on Modern Dolce on the on regular GMK Moto could be pretty good. It's a good observation. And maybe Necro? I have Necro too. Okay, I think those are good. I think these are probably good choices. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I will. Oh! I did. I just saw Hastura just picked SoWaRe. Oh, okay. I can do SoWaRe then. I'll do SoWaRe. That's fine. SoWaRe is good. What's that TKL you're using? This is exclamation keyboard. This is the origami TKL. Oh, thank you, Elquan. Thank you. All right, I'll get SoWaRe then, since somebody claimed it in the chat. Let me go get it. Give me a minute. All right, BRB. Okay. Did origami has this blue as an option? It did not. Did it not? Origami TKL. Let's see. I'll just check for you. Yeah, it did. There was silver, red, blue, and black. Silver, red, blue, and black. That was the first round of origami colors. For whatever reason, the pics on the Keycaps thread are dead, but there's some renders here and there. Yeah. Okay. I'll be right back. I'll bring SoWaRe. Okay, I am back. Hi, back. All right, let's put keycaps on this. This might look pretty good actually. The stock cyan color, but with some gray mixed in it. Okay. So let's see. Wait, is it menu and when? Which one's first? I think menu is after. Oh, this is gonna look nice actually. Starting to look pretty good. Let's see. There's the other alt key. Control. Does SoWaRe have an FN key? It does. Okay, it does. Cool. Artisan. I always found it weird that the FN was orange. I think they went with RGBYO, right? Because that's usually what they pick for the accents. RGBYO. I think that's why it was orange. But I mean, yeah, I should have been green, right, to match the same row as a shift. But yeah, I think they just went with RGBYO and then they didn't think twice about it. It's also possible they went with orange thinking that they would go with the bottom row section for like those 1800s with the 1U, 1U, 1U at the very, very bottom row. I think they might have gone with that too. It's also kind of odd, but yeah. Looks good though. Looks good. That said, back in those days, there were a bunch of key sets that didn't have much. Like it was they thought about this the kitting, but I feel like it was not so refined sometimes. Like it was like something was off, or like, you know, mistakes were made here and there. It definitely happened. Especially because SoWaRe was sold through. Who sold SoWaRe? Was it J-Chan? J-Chan's kitting was kind of out there. I remember, like Hydro is a behemoth of a kit. Like the base kit is like, it's like 200 keys basically. It's so many keys in that base kit. So yeah, I remember J-Chan's kits being kind of like wild. Kind of like whatever he wanted to put in, he would just put in, you know, just by feel. So yeah. There's a bit of that, I feel. It's kind of calling the shots. All right. Okay. So let me set this up. Okay. Oop. Okay, is that good? Let's see. Okay, I think it's working. Okay. Let's try this out. Is that DCS SoWaRe? This is GMK, but I mean SoWaRe is rare for sure, yeah. Let me turn off the music here. And all right, let's give this a shot. Nez, hello, how are you doing? Good to see you. Yeah, OTD SoWaRe didn't have orange. Yeah, it didn't. Yeah. What's your take on full copper or brass bottom trend? Trend? Personally, I actually like I'll comment on that real quick, but like trend wise, personally I don't get the trend as much. I personally think alu cases sound totally fine, and just alu with a brass or copper weight is pretty sufficient in my opinion. So going the full brass or the full copper seems a little excessive. If it's a way to charge a premium for the material and the machining and all that, it can be pretty expensive, and I personally think it's kind of unnecessary. My personal opinion. If it's brass or copper, if the question is brass or copper, it's kind of the same. Brass is a copper alloy, so they're pretty similar. But in terms of like the trend of going a full brass bottom or a full copper bottom, personally feels excessive, not very necessary. It's nice as a premium, but unless you're ready to pay the premium, doesn't really make sense to me. I personally think it's fine just to go with a full alu case with like an alu case, and then if you want to a weight in it, just put the steel, brass, or copper weight in it to attach to the case, instead of going the full case. I feel like it's just kind of excessive machining and sourcing the material and all that, so it's kind of pricey. So it's all right. I mean, I do think that like a lot of these vendors who are doing it also have the means to it, and like material might be cheaper to them, so it's fine, and like the cost is not that big relatively, so for them. So if that's the case, then do it your way. That's fine. That's cool. But I think for most people, most designers, independent designers, it's going to be a tough choice to do that. It's kind of expensive. If you have a demand for it, then why not? Yeah. All right. Yeah, and also, honestly, with just full alu with no weight, it also can be very nice. So I personally think don't discount it until you try it. Don't knock it till you try it, right? Yeah. Okay, let's give this a shot. I don't know if this has. Oh, the layers are not mapped to. I don't think I have any arrow keys mapped here yet. So, okay. All right. Let's give it a shot. All right, so we have a build of the RAE Aurum, and this is a 60% case, the second design after the Adamas, as far as I'm aware, by RAE. William, I think, is in the chat. And this is the cerulean blue colorway for the design. I believe Sterling built one in green, and there will be more content. But we have it with a carbon fiber plate. It's top mounted with these gaskets that serve as dampeners just below on the bottom case, just kind of like cushioning the whole assembly. And we have carbon fiber, Gateron inks, and GMK SoWaRe. So let's give it a shot. All right, Gattings on CF. Here we go. Oh no, my switches are either looks like my O has issues. Every O and L is having me, maybe it's chattery. L has issues and P has issues too? Yeah, I guess it's just chatter or something. Might be. I'm not sure. Oh, no, wait. Did this? Oh, it's a function layer. How do I move layers here? Is this, wait, this is a via PCB, right? Ah, okay, I found out. Okay, I now know it has a toggle on. Okay, hold on. I'll fix it. It's easy to fix. Let me change that to toggle turn on layer 0. Wait, whoops. 0. Okay, so do that, and then yeah, it had a layer toggle. That's why. That's why. Okay, and aha. Okay, figured it out. It's a McLovin PCB, so I don't think it's all there. Okay, I think I should be fine with this for now. Up, left, right, down, and okay. Ah, yes, okay. I'm good now, I think. Layer 0 looks good. Layer 1 looks good. Okay. Ah, okay. It was just toggled on the second layer, so it was not typing the right characters. Alright. Streamers watched. Yeah. Of course, L has issues because this board is such a W. Nice. Nice one. But I think it's W for washed. Yeah. Yeah. Alright, let's try it again. Here we go. Ooh, 140. Choked a little bit, but pretty good. Sounds nice. Sounds nice, right? The spacebar kind of slaps on this, on the carbon fiber blade. It sounds really good. Let's go through the mods. All right, here are the mods. It's a nice backspace too. Sounds really good. This is a very nice sound. Let me talk about the typing feel a little bit. Typing feel wise, this is definitely has the stiffness of top mount, but I do think the gaskets are helping here a little bit. I do feel some softness on the bottom out. It definitely feels a little bit more like I don't know how to explain, like kind of like less like vibrating, sort of like, you know, like on a standard top mount, when you like sort of bottom out, you kind of feel the harshness of the plate, and then it sort of like just, you know, kind of like stays there. But then on this one, it definitely gets dampened a little bit at the very end, so it definitely feels a little softer, just a tiny bit softer. So it's like a top mount with a slight cushion at the very end. So it's pretty comfortable. So it's a very comfortable typing feel. That said, CF plates are, you know, they're kind of similar to alu, so they're like not too soft and also not too harsh. I would expect this to definitely run quite differently with anything heavier than, you know, like an alu or CF plate, and anything softer, I imagine it will be softer than your typical, you know, top-mounted like PC plate, for example. But it still has essentially all the characteristics of top mount, I would say. I can see how like the whole like having gaskets kind of to aid the assembly is nice to sort of, I don't know how to explain it, like maybe like fine tune some small resonances or small sounds, like kind of like, you know, small extra bits on the typing sound that might feel a little, you know, off on top mount. So they can be helpful. I mean, people have done this where like I've seen people either on sandwich mount or on top mount, they'll like put damping materials, kind of like the people who do like O-ring with a top mount plate on a TKL. Like, you know, it's kind of the same idea. It's like they're using the gasketing from the O-ring to sort of soften a little bit of that top mount typing feel and sound. So I think that's kind of the gist of it. It's the same idea. But yeah, it's really nice. It's really nice. We watched Interview with the Vampire first episode the other day, and holy, I feel like I'm going to hell now. Do you like it, Nas? Isn't it so good? And we really like Interview with the Vampires, the AMC show. So I hope you're enjoying it so far. All right. Let me play this music again, and let me maybe I can talk about this board here. But so here is our Aurum with SoWaRe. Looks very good. And then I'm gonna just plug this and show you what the board looks like from this camera view. Patty and Izzy were like, that's a lot of biting and sex. And that was just the first episode. Actually the later episodes are more, I feel like there's a lot of intent. I actually, you know, I was talking about this, but like basically like shows with like sexual content, for example, like I feel like they need to be more intentional for it to be like nice and meaningful to the story, right? So it's part of the character stuff, character development, whatnot. It's nice to have it. Diego, if you run another GMK set, please rerun GMK SoWaRe. Many thanks. Besos. Yeah. Vampire Lestat equals Queen of the Damned? No. There are many books, but they're based on the books. So just look at the title of the books if you're really curious. I would say don't go in knowing anything. I actually watched the AMC Interview with the Vampire completely spoilerless and without knowing anything about Anne Rice's books. So for me, it was pretty delightful to watch it, kind of as a first experience. And then discovering more things as I read or heard more about stuff. But yeah. Anyhow, yes, the weight is pretty cool. It's like it's simple, like in terms of the way it's done, but it's very striking because it's creating contrast with the shape of the case. Like you have a very standard looking case in terms of like what this bottom is like, and then you have these very striking like basically negative space here because of the way this weight is cut, right? So it's very cool. It's playing with angles so well. The Automas did this with the kind of gem top shape on the weight that it had, but this board is now playing with not just the weight but also then the case design. So it's quite very cool design. I think for those looking for a new 60%, this is really nicely done. Feel wise, it feels pretty good, nice and solid. I don't feel any unpleasant aspects of top mount here. Like, top mount is important to determine where you want your screw positions. If they're too far in, you might end up with a very flimsy feeling side. Like, you might end up with the sides kind of drooping, especially with softer plates. So you don't want to do that. This feels pretty good, and it sounds pretty good, even with 625U spacebar. And so let me show you what this looks like. This is a cerulean blue color, so it's kind of like a blue-green, or like a teal rather colorway for the case. It's not a darker teal, it's kind of more on the lighter bluer side of things, but it definitely has a tinge of green in there. So what you see is truly what it looks like in real life. We have some brass here as an accent, and we have a centered USB port. But I think if you're looking out for a 60%, this is really nicely done. I'm enjoying this a lot. I really like this bottom case. I think this is so cool. It kind of fools you into thinking that there might be something here, and then it's just completely shut. So pretty cool. It's playing with angles really nicely. Very aesthetically pleasing design. But yeah. Do you have DCS SoWaRe too? I have the Revival set, the one that Deskeys I think ran on kit, and Deskeys. Yeah, I think I have that one. We call it cerulean blue because it actually looks a little different lighting. Oh, you see on the website art and renders, they look much bluer because the wider lighting. Oh, they're photos. Ah, okay, we can play around with that, right? I just have an LED stick thingy here. Like, you could maybe, like, you know, kind of play with how that looks. Yeah. But, I mean, obviously yellower lighting, much different, but. Do you like the sound on full brass or copper bottom, Diego, or alloy is sufficient enough? Ooh, so this kind of brings me back to that discussion of bump-ons that I had briefly for a sec earlier, but like, I feel like the problem with full brass or full copper bottoms, or actually very bottom-heavy boards, is I think they start suffering when the bottom is so heavy that the board is just like sinking into your desk too much. So like it kind of carries the typing and the vibration of the whole board into like your desk, like boom, boom, boom. And I feel like while it does sort of dampen some of the, like, you know, sound that happens, like it kind of mutes some of the sound, it can also like have some unpleasant effects on the typing experience. It's kind of hard to know without trying, obviously. But I feel like it's more likely to happen when you have a heavier case, namely you have a full brass or a copper bottom, than when you have an alu case. So if I have to pick between the two, I would probably go with the safer choice, which is the alu option with a weight, or with like smaller weights or whatever, than the full brass or copper bottom. Just because I feel like it runs the risk more highly, right? So personally, I'm a alu proponent. I think cases can sound very good with no weight even. So I personally feel like, you know, a nicely designed case can sound very good even just being full alu only and no weights. So I don't think it's a necessity to have a full brass or copper bottom. I take there are boards like the Cloud9, for example, was a good example of a board that I recently built that was full copper, and that sounded really good. Like, that board was full copper for everything, and like it sounded really nice. There was like a very nice tight sound, no like echoes or resonances that like stood out, you know, and it sounded really good. But you know, you have to try it. So it's like, obviously designers are tasked with the burden of testing it, and obviously, you know, people like ourselves, like builders, or, you know, people who do content, like, you know, they're also like with the burden of testing it out and seeing if it sounds good and providing that feedback back to the designer is super important. So yeah. But yeah, like with the bump on thing, like normally those the boards with like the really long bump on strips, you'll basically have a lot of excess contact with your desk. That might create this like boomier sound. So you know, kind of want to be careful with that. Like I think one of the Neo 65s, I think, or one of the Neo CU designs had that. It had this like long strip type of bump on, and that was transferring a ton of the vibrations into a desk, kind of made it very boomy sounding. Regardless of what, you know, microphone you were using, it kind of sounded like that. So, Possum, hello. Oh, you're up early, I guess. I think for you it might be early instead of Pontus, who was up late. Thank you for stopping by. You have all the rare SoWaRe kits. Can you compare the colors of the DCS and GMK sets? I love to see that. I can actually, I could do that. Do you mind if I just like do it offline and then take a few photos and I can send it on Discord and I'll tag you? I just need to go find it, so I just don't want to do that right now. But anyway, the Aurum, I like it. Bottom line is, if you're out there looking for a nice and premium looking 60%, I gotta say I really like it. Top mount 60s are they're catching on. We have more top mount 60s by the day, you know. But if you're looking for a top mount 60, this board slaps. It's really nice. Color choices are good, I think. You have a completely neutral choice, which is a black one if you really want, but this cerulean blue looks very unique. It's unlike the seafoam, unlike cyan. It's not quite a dark turquoise peacock teal. It's kind of in between that, in between all of that. So unique color choice here for this one in particular. I think the green one, there's definitely boards that are more like that one, but it looks good. It looks good. I actually kind of wonder what this one look like with a stainless steel. Sandblasted stainless steel would look much more, like much cooler, right? Because of the just like very like matte, maybe a slightly dark gray tone to it. But brass looks good on it too, so pretty nice. It'll kind of look more like this Artisan, right? Where you have like the kind of like Tiffany type of color and then this like metallic color. Yeah. Steel weight would look really good on this though. Yeah, I haven't seen an Oku in real life. I don't know what the Okus look like, but those ones are greener, I think, right? Like the Oku colorway, I remember. Yeah, but definitely different from like the Seafoam Daji or like some of the other colors I've seen that are like in this vein. Yeah. SoWaRe is one of those classic sets. I'm surprised it hasn't run again. SoWaRe has an issue though, Ness. SoWaRe has the issue of low contrast. It's pretty low contrast. Like it looks good in this lighting, but in general lighting, it kind of looks bad. You know, to be honest. So it's a little iffy. Like there might be the set runner issue, but there's also the issue that it's not like a set that's like high demand really. I think people who appreciate classics will like SoWaRe, but a lot of people won't actually. A lot of people will think it's an ugly set. I think that's why SoWaRe hasn't seen a rerun as easily, because it's really not a classic really. I think like I wouldn't call it a classic in that sense. It's a classic only in the sense that it's older. It has roots with the Koreans who like first run the set and like in DCS, right? And whatnot, but it quite isn't a classic in terms of popularity. Yeah, it's not a pretty set. It's pretty in very specific cases, but it's not by any means like, wow, that's a banger of a set. Yeah, no, it's not. Yeah. Hospital hours, going to bed at 8 p.m. means I wake up that much earlier. Oh, okay. I see. Possum. Well, have a good day. Have a good start to your day. Thank you for stopping by. Yeah. 65 gram springs, what a workout. Oh, do you think 65 gram is heavy? That's my limit actually. 65 is where I set the limit for my personal like preference. Usually between 55 and 65, but 65 is where I put the upper limit. 60 to 65 is ideal for me though. Moto Mist Green. Oh, good comparison, yeah. Moss and SoWaRe are so hard to see, the cyan one. Yeah. It's very low contrast. It's very low contrast. Right now you only really see it because the lighting here is so close. That's really what it is. DCS SoWaRe in an ideal profile. It's an ideal profile for me at least. I think it's a banger in a low-key way. Yeah, it's one of those things. What's a Diego banger set? I've mentioned some before. People were asking me top 3 sets. I mentioned Hyperfuse. I mentioned Taro. I mentioned Carbon, Honeywell, some of those. And then I was talking about like sets that I really like in different colors, like burgundy for reds, hydro for blue, hydro right here, violet on cream for purples. Yeah. SoWaRe, unfortunately, not in my top 3 actually. In the sense that it's just niche. It's a niche set. Me. Try just typing on this a little longer just for fun. Let's see. This is a good sound. Was it Hastura who suggested inks on CF being nice? It's pretty good. I like this combo actually. It makes the ink sound louder, more accentuated, but still very characteristically ink. If anything, I feel like the alu sound is a little bit more subdued on this. It's a nice sound. Yeah, that's a good sound. It's a very nice and tight. Oh, Taro, huh? To each their own. Yeah, I really like Taro personally. It's one of my favorite sets for the purple ones. But I feel like Taro, you can't overdo it on the accents. Do not overdo accents on Taro. Taro looks good with one accent. Either choose one. Choose the cyan one or choose the yellow one, but just choose one accent. Let the rest of the set shine from the alphas and the mods, you know, those colors mingling, the dark purple and the lighter purple. Like that's a good combo already. But if you put too much like the accents, that it has like 2 or 3 different accents, don't use all of them. If you combine both the yellow and the cyan and the purple, it looks really messy. That I don't like Taro combinations that have like all the accents like that. It just looks very messy to me. But yeah, GMK McLan with full accents. GMK McLan is one of those sets that just, you know, it's like rainbowy, so it's like Handerbite kind of set. Or you know, like a set that's really good because it has a lot of colors, like Panels. Panels is such a good set, right? Yeah. Oh, whoops. Let's see. Yeah, Panels is a fantastic set. Like I have a like this photo set with Panels, and I really like how that looks. Such a good. Is there a round 2 of Glare to kill? Is that true? I don't know. I don't know. I actually don't keep up. If there is one that's pretty cool. Q1 with internal changes. Oh, very nice. Oh, wow, that's exciting. People really like the Glare. Yeah, it's gonna be good. Lots of Glare fans out there. Just Geon boards and whatnot. Good to see. All right, my friends. Shall we wrap it up here? Let us wrap things up slowly here. Let's see. Is there anybody doing any streams today? Actually, don't know. I don't see any keyboard streams now, I think. But I see some names I know. You could throw a raid over to... Maybe you can throw a raid to Tessa? Tessa is currently streaming... I think that's... And then there's some bigger streamers too. Win key or win keyless? If it's a TKL, win keyless, personally. If it's a 60, 50-50 for me. I like both a lot. But if it's a TKL, you know, just look at this. Win keyless looks so good. Win keyless just looks so nice, so clean. I personally, you know, if you're gonna miss your win key, I map it right here. I map my control here, alt, control, win. That's where I have it. Some people do win here, or here, depending on what you need. I actually use right alt a lot, so I actually always have right alt here, but yeah. So some people will do win key here, or like put it on the function layer. If full size. Win keyless is nice on full size, personally. I mean, well, you know, the thing is, all you're missing is just this win key, right? But I personally use control as caps, like caps lock as control, or is it control as caps? Control as caps. So I put my control here because I don't use caps lock. I just use shift for capital letters. Or if I want caps lock, I'll put it on the function layer, and you know, like function layer caps lock or function layer tab will be caps lock. So I just put caps lock in the function layer, and that's where I have caps lock if I need it. But since I rarely use it, I just put control here, alt here, win here. If I'm using a Mac, obviously the command goes here, alt goes here, you know. Yeah. Que hay de tu super clave? Yeah. But anyway. Layouts are a very personal thing, so I'm not gonna mock or you know, make fun of anybody who has a layout that I don't like. You do you. People use 40s for a reason, right? All right. Any builds coming up? I do. I can tell you. So this coming week, or yeah, this coming week is already Saturday. Wow. This coming week, I have the Gateron 60. Gateron, is that how you say it? Gateron? 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 Gateron. Gateron. Yeah. Gateron. I don't know. That one. I have that one. The Bion and Bowl designed G60 board coming up before the end of the week next week. And then I still have a build for the Zoom 64 from Bellatrix. That's the GH60 compatible kind of like Chinese 2U shift layout, like 64 key layout on 60%. That's the one like with people would say it's like a 60% with arrow keys. There's that one coming up soon, and then that will be probably before the end of next week too. And then so this will be, it'll be 260% next week after this one. And then I have the Kafka from Typeface coming up, I believe the week after. So that'll be coming after that. And then by then I should also have the Tofu 60 arriving from KOD fans. And I also have the Mech11 and Mary C Works Synthesis. So the Synthesis is also going to be probably around the end of the month. So that'll be the week after that. But yeah, I have some deadlines with the Bowl and Buy-in board and the Meltrix board, so I'm trying to prioritize those for next week, and then the Typeface board and the Mary C board probably for the week after, along with probably the KOD fans Tofu boards. So yeah. I just say dinosaur fossil board with Bjork font. Good. Thoughts on Venom PCBs or HE builds? So actually the Kafka is a HE build. So that'll be my first HE build since I did a custom HE build for another streamer a while back. So I haven't done a lot of HE Hall Effect. So that'll be my first Hall Effect build. Personally, Hall Effect for me has no great appeal. I game with my regular mechanical keyboards. So for me, Hall Effect marketing is pretty much moot. I'm not like a most competitive gamer either. So for me, it's like, I don't care. I think it's great. I think they work. They work great. The programming and the like firmware for HE has jumped leaps. Has leapt like quite a lot. Made big leaps in the past few years, and the switches have gotten a lot better. They sound a lot better and all that. More options nowadays. Still room for improvement and all that, but I think there's been quite a lot of growth in that space. But yeah, I think the whole gamer thing about Hall Effect, for me, it's like whatever. That said, I can appreciate what people want them for, so I think I totally understand why people would want to buy gamer friendly Hall Effect kind of stuff and better performance, so to speak. So all right, so we'll wrap it up there, but let's go raid Tessa. And once again, thank you, my friends, for stopping by. This was the Aurum by RAE. Great board, recommended. Price wise, definitely on the pricey side, but I think it carries premium nature to it. Not for everyone. I think there definitely are a lot of options out there for enthusiasts who might want a cheaper option, but I think it does what it purports itself to do quite well. So if you're in the market for a 60% with a top mount style and pretty unique aesthetic, I think the RAE folks have nailed it down again after the Automas, so I definitely would recommend it. It's a nice board. Okay, I'll see you guys later. Have a good rest of your weekend. I'll see you guys this coming week for the Hern, whatever it is, 60 from Bowl and Buy-in. I'll see you later, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.